Hello, so in today's video I'm going to show you how I took a riff and went from this to this. If that sounds good, stay tuned. So this morning I was fiddling around on the guitar and I wound up coming up with a riff that I really wanted to get down. So after getting a feel for the riff, I wasn't sure exactly what rhythms I was going to use, so I wanted to quickly figure that out and put something together so that it sounded like a finished idea as much as possible. And I thought it'd be a cool opportunity to show you some of the things I learned as a result. So in this video, I'm going to show you to quickly create a drum beat using the tap to find function, how to create a generic bass line using Easy Bass, and then how to further refine that bass line to make it sound like a more realized piece of music. And by the way, if you are starting out and you're struggling with writing songs, grab my free songwriting checklist at the link in the description below. It's a quick read and I think it'll help out a lot. My clients have been saying good things about it, so check it out. So let's get going. Right off the bat, I just want to talk about a couple of things. So tempo is going to be 114 in 4/4 time. That was what felt right to me for this riff, right? That was what I kind of figured out behind the scenes, and now I want to show you how I'm going to put the beat together. So I'm going to go here into Easy Drummer, and right now I am using the death metal expansion kit, which is pretty awesome. Where am I right now? Let's go to grooves and then let's go to tap to find. So before I do that, because it's an incessant click, I'm just gonna loop the riff a couple of times just so I can get the idea of it fresh in my mind again. So something that's super ride cymbal heavy and with a lot of space, you know, between the kicks and the snares. So that's what I'm looking for. So let's go in here, and we want boom, ka. So right here. So I need more room. What's cool is you can go and extend the amount of bars. Boom. So I think I want the kick right there. Yep. Yep. Now I want to add a crash. See, I was a little late. Beautiful thing that you can just pencil that in. And now rides. You see my timing is pretty horrible. But I want a steady stream of eighth notes going on. I'm hearing Janet Jackson in my head right now. I miss you much. You much, I really miss you much. Yeah, I'm gonna do like a heavy metal cover of Janet Jackson with this beat. Anyway, so now that I have my beat, I'm gonna do a search and see if I can find anything that's, you know, compatible with this. All right, so I've got a lot of stuff going on here. Let's hear this one. And that's okay. But I want something with ride, so I'm gonna just do some digging. And honestly, when I see the tempo, I really pay a lot of attention to that from the get-go. That just helps me to make, you know, quicker decisions. So all this stuff is a little not what I had in mind for tempo. I'm looking for something that's closer to like 114. So let's see if I can find that. This could take a little while. So I'll be back. Okay, so after doing a little bit of digging, I decided to just kind of, you know, organize things by tempo here. If you click on this, it arranges everything to be in order, which makes life a lot easier. So I actually found something of 115 that seems pretty close. So let's hear that. Yeah, I like that. So what I'm going to do is just drag it in directly into the session. So right, so doon 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 doon, got it, dun, dun. So it's the Miss You Much beat, right? So let's do this. I'm gonna click on here. That I might get rid of. In fact, I think I might want to save this beat for over here. So I'm going to grab this, make a copy, I'll go back in here, probably get rid of you. Yeah. Turn you into a. And there it is. Super quick. And what I love about this is that you see all that human feel in the ride cymbals. And you can see little subtleties in the kicks as well, right? 116. 115, 116 again because I copied that. And then if I don't like that, I like to borrow from these beats. Like if I want like a, you know, a lighter kick. Right? If it sounded, you know, if I had the same velocity, might not sound quite as real. Subtle, but I like to do that. Okay, so now I want to make a copy of this and change things up to suit the second half of this riff. So let's see what I can get away with here. So we have. Okay, so right off the bat here, you hear that da-da of the guitar riff at the da-da, dun dun dun. I think I want the kicks to follow that. So, yeah, super simple, right? But really impactful. Yep. And then so this is giving me ideas in real time. So I want like a snare kick. So like that. So, and I feel like I want a China cymbal. Yeah. And in fact, I'll bring these two down as well. And change the velocity of this guy. Actually, that still might be a little too loud. Yeah, it's a little too loud. I want these to be like phantom hits almost, like the resonance of this initial hit. What we got? Yeah. So let's hear what we got so far. I like that. In fact, I want these to be China's as well. And yeah, immediately sounds better. Actually, let's hear the whole thing. Yeah, that sounds cool to me. So that's already giving me ideas on how I want to grow it further, you know, develop it into an actual song. But I'm going to leave it at that for now as far as like the drums go. Now I want to show you how I'm going to create a bass line and go from, you know, generic to a bit more involved. So here we go. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, just going to take it piece by piece here. Okay, so this riff is basically hovering around, you know, the root note of E, right? And whether it's going to be like an E major chord, E minor, or some weird, you know, combination. Because there's a lot of major stuff going on in this riff as well, but then there's this kind of darkness that's going on, which is, you know, my homage to Opeth, I guess. So what I want to do is go into easy bass here. So as you can see, I've already set up the song key to be E minor. The tempo's all there. And all I need to do, super quick, go to this. We start on beat 2, or bar 2 rather. And what I'm going to do is just add standard groove. Now, because I set the song key to E minor, all of these are going to be E minor. And you can, you know, change that to whatever you want, and it's going to conform to whatever key you select. So let's hear that. I actually like bars 4 and 5. I want to keep that as it is. So what I'm going to do here, go to the scissor tool, click on that, chop that up too. And while I'm at it, since we have the second half, I already know that if we go over here, so goes to a different chord, right? Which is actually going to be a G, so I might as well just take care of that right now. And super simple, right? Defaults as 8th note bass line, very generic, but let's hear the whole thing so far. All right, so there's a lot that needs to be done. I want to, you know, tame these parts right here. These parts are way too busy for the riff. Right? Like the riff is meant to get the spotlight in this case, right? Because there's a lot of notes going on here. And there's some, you know, hammer-ons and trills and all that sort of stuff. So I want to make those stand out. So I want the bass line to be a lot more simplified here and here. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so there are a number of different things I could do as far as like editing this bass line, right? But I think the simplest thing that I could possibly do is to conform this bass line to the drums. So I want to show how I do that. So what I'm gonna do first is I like making a copy in case I need it again, if I want to like edit things. But what I'm gonna do is merge these blocks together, and now I'm gonna export this as a MIDI file. So Option Command E, cool Opeth idea. I'm gonna call this Janet Jackson beat because that's the bit I'm running with right now, I guess. I don't know. So Janet Jackson. So here's where it gets really cool. So if I go into drums and keys here in Easy Bass, select new, what I could do is actually import that drum track as a MIDI file. So I'm going to do that. Janet Jackson beat. Okay, so now I've got a list of options to choose from. So without getting too far in depth right now about this, you know, if you want to see this in a future video, I'll definitely do that. But for right now, I know exactly what I want. I'm going to select this because it's following the kick drum and the snare. But when it's hitting the snare, it's muting, which is super cool. That's exactly what I'm after. So I'm actually just going to pull this in. Okay. And let's in fact move this guy out of the way. Let's bring you down here. And let's hear what we got. Awesome. All right, so we're off to a good start. Now, I don't want to get rid of this because I still find these second halves of each, we'll call it the verse right now, I find these very valuable and I want them. So I'm going to bring this guy over here. And 5 is where I want to bring this guy. So I'm going to just drag and drop you over there. And same thing with 10 and 11. All right, super, super simple. Reduce, reuse. So. My bad. Let's go here instead. And that's why we listen back. Yeah. And in fact, as I listen to this, let's listen one more time and then I'll give you my thoughts. Yeah, I want this to change to A at the last 3 notes. So I'm going to just clip, clip, clip. Do that. Let's hear that real quick. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I want to head to the beginning here. Let's chop this up a little bit. Yeah, okay. So right here. here's where I want to do a little bit of editing. So I'm going to go into the grid editor by double clicking. Now, this part right here where the snare is hitting, I actually want that to be a nice little kind of bass slide. So like a boo, boom. So something like that. So what I want to do first is shorten this note. I think I'm gonna bring you here. And this mute part is very important. Yeah, see how much more space it creates? And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. Yeah, I kind of want that too. See, this is already giving me ideas of what I want the kick drum to do. I think I might add another kick drum as well, so it's like boom. Now I want to add my slide. So the little handy function that I discovered today is that if you clip this right here, you can now create a transition from whatever note you want to the end of the, let's call this the measure. So what I'm gonna do is go to transition, located right here. I'm gonna do slide short. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it just generates one of these. So that's not gonna be enough, but let's hear that. So we're on the right track. I think I want it to actually be a long slide. So if I go back to transition, let's do a long slide. Oh yeah. And then bring this back up to E. So it's just going to be, root note, octave. And what I'm going to do here is adjust this to be dead on with the next root note. Yeah, that's exactly what was in my head. Perfect. Okay, so I like this. I'm just gonna copy this, bring it over here. And I also want to dress things up on the second half here. So if I can bring in the other riff. Yeah. So. But I do want one note leading up. Yeah. So let's say that I want to change maybe the velocity or anything like that real quick without having to go in there and do any heavy editing. I like to use the stock grooves that they include in Easy Bass a lot of the times, especially if it's just like a simple eighth note type of pattern. So what I'm gonna do, let's see, go to Easy Bass, let's go to basic rhythm, straight 4/4. Yeah, and I'm just gonna do replace MIDI. And I want eighth notes. That's a little too muted. That's not bad. And if I want, I can check out rock. Let's see if we got one of the greats. No. hard rock. There we go. So pumping eights. Let's do pumping eights. Yeah, I like the growl on that one. So I'm gonna do this. Replace MIDI. And this is, you know, just a little subtle addition. So now let's hear the whole thing. So there it is. There's my idea. I'm already getting more ideas from this that I want to explore later, but hopefully this gives you a good idea of how you can quickly get started and just trap an idea so you can just walk away and go about the rest of your life, and you can always come back and revisit it, but it's still captured in a way that sounds good and reminds you of like your initial intention behind it, right? So that's the whole point with this. So thank you for sticking with me through this video. I hope this was helpful. And if you are struggling to start or finish songs, grab the free checklist that I've included at the link in the description below. It's going to walk you through how to go from no idea, complete, writer's block, to, oh, cool, I've got a couple of cool ideas I can explore now, right? And if you allow yourself to just go into this with no expectations and give yourself, anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. Oftentimes it's like 15 minutes. But again, no expectations. You'll be very, very surprised on what comes out. So grab that for free, and I will see you on the next one.